Hey guys, Mr. Wagner here for my 5-1 at-home instruction. Today we've been learning about Hinduism and Buddhism, and I think we got through these in class, if I'm not mistaken, but we're being congruent with Mr. Euchren's class so that we're all doing the same thing every day. So there is no Newzella today. First time for everything. But so Mr. Euchren and I kind of compromised. So I had just the Venn diagram and a paragraph, and he added a couple extra things. So you would take the notes from the last 2 days and then just look at this Hinduism versus Buddhism Venn diagram, and it does count as a formative assessment grade. So that's a big deal, right? So you got Hinduism, Buddhism. The founder for Hinduism, you might find a couple different names. You can list several names. You can list just one name. Buddhism, you might go with Siddhartha Gautama, aka Buddha. The ultimate goal for Hinduism is to move up the caste system by performing your it's called your dharma, and it will affect your karma, and then you'll move up, move up, move up until you've become the highest level, and you become one with the Brahman, kind of like the Force. The ultimate goal for Buddhism is to reach enlightenment, which is called nirvana, through getting rid of suffering and desires, and then you'll kind of become one with, what do they call it? I guess it's kind of like the Hinduism idea of getting to the Brahman, but they don't call it the Brahman. The Hinduists follow the caste system strictly, although in some parts not so strictly anymore, based on some discussions with some of my Indian friends. There are 5 levels. Number 5 is untouchables, and you're supposed to not even look in their direction. They're working the despicable work, and they were born into it, and their parents did it, and anybody in the caste system can only marry somebody in their caste system, right? Their Buddhism ignores the caste system, and which should in some ways make it more appealing, because then anybody can get in to the promised existence after this existence, not just, oh, you did a great job, but the princess is in another castle, so now you've got to be a higher level being of humans before you can move up, move up, move up. Buddhist says direct path, like the giant ladder in Snakes and Ladders, right? The holy text, there's several for each. I believe there's 2 for Buddhism you might find, and there's 4 for Hinduism you might find. Upanishads comes to mind. They one god or many. They both kind of believe in many gods, but it's kind of different. Buddhism acknowledges Hinduism, but is more focused on you reaching nirvana. And then Hinduism talks about lots of gods, and especially the 3, the creator, the destroyer, and the preserver, and that whole, which ties in with the reincarnation and the Dharma. These vocab words you'd mention in your main beliefs, Dharma, karma, and moksha for Hinduism are a great idea. Main beliefs for Buddhism are, the what's it called, the Eightfold Path, or the 4 Noble Truths. You could not discuss them in detail, but list all 4 Noble Truths for number 1. Number 2, the Eightfold Path, list the whole thing. Do they have in common? I kind of mentioned a lot of them throughout. Example, they're both, kind of have a foundation in Hinduism, or the Hindu belief system is there. They both have a holy text. Technically, if you look on both sides, they both have a holy text. They both were started by somebody, if you can find an answer to Hindu's founding person. They both believe in good deeds by human beings, right? You have to be a good person in order to reach enlightenment, or reach the final goal. They both believe that people do have castes and are divided, but Hindus stick to it more, and Buddhists are trying to find a way around it. I think you could add more. You get more creative. They both believe that there is suffering, and caste. The Hindus believe it's just part of your caste, and the Buddhists believe, yeah, but you can get around that if you become enlightened. So it's a similarity that they believe suffering is a big problem, but the answer to it's different. That's just this. Then it's just a copy paste type of job. Some symbols for Hinduism, some symbols for Buddhism. Possible answers you could use for Hinduism are like Shiva, the destroyer, Whenever looking up gods and goddesses, be very careful. I'm not even going to explain why. Just might want to type Hinduism Shiva, or I believe Hinduism has a symbol that looks like the swastika for Nazi Germany. So be very careful because it's slightly different, and people could put fake pictures and get like you putting Nazi symbols. It's different, so it's not exactly the same. So be careful. Um, you could just put Hindu priest, Buddhist monk could work. That's obviously skinny Buddha. For India, you could get a picture of Fat Buddha, the one that's in my classroom, and put him in here because that represents Buddhism and how it got to China. And for Buddhism, you could put, for me, you could put like video games and fancy sneakers that you want, because that's what Buddhists like. Put a red sign around it, like no smoking sign, right? Know this. You don't want to have all these desires and nice things because you'll never be happy. You'll always crave more. Sounds like potato chips. And then you have to write a paragraph. So then you have to kind of just mention the differences. The differences are the outsides of the Venn diagram. So you pick 3 of the things and you kind of describe them like I did in this video down here, and I am fine if you destroy this line, get rid of this line, and just type in your stuff. No, not going to hurt my feelings. For my class, I don't think we did slide 2 and 3. If you already have this and you have it with you, I know we did slide 1 or started to, and I know we wrote a paragraph, but I feel like some students thought it was optional to write that paragraph. So if you have this paragraph, sure, copy and paste it. If you never did the paragraph, or I'm losing my mind from being with my own children for too many days in a row, then you have to write a paragraph. 3 differences described. And described means if you say that they have a different ultimate goal. That's not a sentence. That sentence is not good enough. That's an equal sentence. The equal sign you're saying is. This is something that's different. Okay, tell me more about that. Right? If you have, for example, outside of this, if you told me Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James, how do you explain that? Oh, 6 titles versus 3 titles. Right? How many stars were on the team with Michael Jordan versus how many stars were on the team with LeBron James? Most of the time, Michael Jordan only had 2. So, for example, if you said the ultimate goal of Hinduism is different than the one in Buddhism, that's not an answer. That's a half answer. You would get points off. The rest of that is the ultimate goal of Hinduism is to be a good person and live a virtuous life so that you reincarnate and move your way up the castes when you come back. And you keep fulfilling your duty, and you're such a good person that you become a religious leader or leader at the top of the caste system. And then you do a great job at that, and then you ascend into the Brahman and become one with the spirits of everything. Whereas, so this paragraph might end up taking a lot of space if you explain it well. If you want to get a full credit for the paragraph, it's going to take a lot of space. Whereas Buddhists, the ultimate goal is to follow the 4 Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path in order to reach a higher level of enlightenment and an understanding of the world around us. You get rid of things, meditate, free your mind. Then when you die, you'll be able to join the Brahman, and anyone can do it. It's not really, they don't really say Brahman in Buddhism, but kind of the same idea. If you have any more questions besides that, I mean, it's not really a wrong answer if you describe it in this paragraph. You can reach out to me, and the schedule's changing dramatically next week. So I'm going to make another video just about that and share it to you. All right, guys. Wagner out. And good luck with this assignment. It is informative, so please do it. Don't skip this one. Best wishes. Stay healthy. Be well.